Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third parent. What? I'm sorry. This is not the third parent. This is Ask the Nanny. I am the third parent. How is everyone doing today? It is Monday, February the 17th, and tonight we are going to be talking about financial planning. Now, if you don't know what financial planning is, if you haven't started planning for your future, we're going to give you some tips um, to get you started on planning for today because you have to start today to plan for the future. Now, I do have a disclaimer. I am not a financial planner. I am a nanny and I have tips that I use for my financial planning, but I'm going to share them with you. I do have a couple of ladies here, Leanne and Cassina. They have worked in finance, but we are not financial planners. I mean, financial advisors. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not financial advisors. So if you want to use these tips, fine. But if they don't work for you, then find something else that works for you. Now, um, I'm going to let Leanne introduce herself and then Cassina introduce herself, and then we will get started.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Leanne. I'm a career nanny of, oh gosh, 12 years now. I am a nanny to two twin toddlers. And I, one of my favorite things to do is help other nannies plan for their future and start budgets and just really build themselves up to prepare for what's going to come in the future.
My name is Christina Sheets, and I'm the owner of Back Office Credit Solutions. And I work with entrepreneurs and small business owners to give them financial strategies that they need to maximize their credit potential and eventually expand or start their business with various lending solutions.
All right. So we have two people, Glenda and Sheila. Hello, hello. How are you? I am watching this video via my phone. So if you all have questions, please feel free to type them into the comments and I will ask the ladies on the panel. And also share, share, share. Share with your groups, share with your mom's groups, with your friends, with your nanny groups, any other groups that you're in that can use some financial tips, please, please share. Sharing is caring. Now, we're going to start, and we need a place to start. And you can't plan for your future if you don't budget for today. So that's where we're going to start. How to plan our budget for today to plan for our future because we don't want you to invest in something and then you have to snatch it back out because you need that money because you didn't plan for that rainy day. So let's start with a budget. Where do we begin?
Well, I think the first thing that, if I can chime in, the first thing is understanding and knowing what your goals are. Because if you don't know what you're saving for, if you don't know where you're going, then you'll end up anywhere or nowhere. And so I think being able to understand what is it, are you looking to save a certain amount of money over a certain period of time? Are you looking to invest in the future? What is it that you're trying to accomplish in this period of time that will allow you to elevate? So I think that is the very first step. And then once you have that, making sure that you share it with someone, because if you keep it to yourself, it's going to change. So maybe a spouse, maybe a best friend, maybe writing it out somewhere where it's open to people, and that will help you to become accountable and maintain your accountability.
And going off of that, I think the next thing you need to do is carefully track where you are spending your money. That's how we started. We recorded every penny we spent for 6 months and saw how much money we were wasting on things that weren't important to us and ways we could save. Like my husband and I always thought, oh, we don't have money for this specific thing we want to do, this vacation, or if the car breaks down, or to get a new car. And then we saw how much money we were spending on extra food at the grocery store that just went to waste, or going out and doing things we really didn't need to do, and having those goals in mind helped us reevaluate our spending.
That's true. When you said spending extra money at the grocery store, I stopped grocery shopping because I would buy food and, I buy in bulk. Okay, we're going to eat this much and I'll make this meal and I'll make that meal. And then I put it all away, get it all nicely packed, put it in the freezer. And 6 months later, oh, I forgot to unthaw that. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, and food goes to waste and you're like dollars going down the drain. And after about a year that I was like, do you know how much food we are throwing away? Because I'm the one who cleans out the refrigerator. But we were throwing away more than we were eating. So now, with me and my husband traveling, and most of our meals are coming, we go on the road. He can expense his, me not so much. But it's a lot of money that you throw away when you don't plan. I had menus, but then he would be traveling, or oh, my friend called me and I'm going here, or it was life happened. So watch where you're spending your money, record it, and watch where you write down what you're throwing away.
For us, the biggest thing that we found when we were going through evaluating that is how much money we spent on snack foods that then sat in our cupboard for 6 months. Like, we're in the store and we're like, oh, I really, really want, this kind of chip. And then I'd eat 2 bites and it'd sit in my cupboard. Or my husband is a cookie addict. He loves cookies. He eats so many cookies. He would buy fancy cookies and then he'd eat 2 of them and they'd sit in the cupboard and go bad. And so it was those things. So we stopped grocery shopping and we used Walmart pickup. And it saved me so much money and not buying junk off the shelves that just looked good that day.
Yeah. And don't go shopping when you're hungry.
Oh, for sure.
I'm the biggest. I can tell you that. I can attest to that because I'll get off work and the first thing I do is go shopping before I have breakfast, and everything looks good to you.
Yes.
And I'm going to make this and I'm going to cook this because I love cooking. I'm going to do this. Don't do it. That's my biggest tip of the day. Don't go shopping when you're hungry, because you make your brain, the hunger hits your brain. Those little neurotransmitters go to your brain and say, I'm hungry. That looks good. Oh, buy me. And food starts talking to you. I'm serious. It will talk to you and you will buy it. And then you won't eat it because you bought so much that looked good to you and you try to eat it all and it goes to waste because you can't eat it all. Just saying.
Another thing I would suggest, and one thing that grocery stores have gotten smart, so they know their audience and their patrons, right? So they turn on various types of music that you enjoy. So I love disco, and I've noticed that apparently a lot of people love disco, and it's that era, or R&B or country, whatever, and they play that, and I'm in the store. I'm not hungry. I'm just in the store, just and I'm just bouncing my head and I'm looking around because I enjoy the music. So watch out for other things that will capture your attention as well while you're going through the grocery store. But kind of segmenting when you are looking and analyzing your bills. One thing I noticed that a lot of my clients were doing was not reviewing and changing things. So your electricity bill, if you're in Texas, you do have the option to switch over depending upon who you're with. But if you're with an Encore service, then you can look at other providers and change your electricity. Whoever has the lower pricing, you look at insurance. A lot of people don't reevaluate their insurance. They just let it renew from, year to year to year. You're just a number to most insurance companies. And so a lot of them will have different plans. You can get the same plan for less cost, or even more options, more accolades for a lower or the same amount. So different coverages. So I would certainly make sure that you're addressing some of those things, just to ensure that you're getting the right price, because what you had a few years ago may not be beneficial to you today.
This is true. It does change. Glenda says, I started doing a meal delivery service 2 nights a week. It saves me so much money because I don't go to the store and buy extra. I need to start on. My son has got me hooked on HelloFresh. Now, this is not an advertisement for them, but him and his fiance, they cook these HelloFresh meals. And I'm like, I want that. So HelloFresh it is. And it's delivered, it comes to your door. It's not expensive. It comes to your door. You have all the ingredients and you cook it. I love to cook. I'll try new recipes. And that forces me to, okay, I bought this, I'm going to cook this. So, and it keeps me out of the grocery store. So I won't have, buy that extra little spice. Oh, that looks good. And then you get it home like, no, I don't think that's going to taste good. That's $4.
It
How
also cuts
many
down
times?
on food waste because you're not
Mhm.
having to buy a whole thing of sour cream when you need this much sour cream.
Right, right. This is so true. And then that eliminates what I like to call must go. And when I say must go, I go into my refrigerator and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a must go meal today. This gotta go, that's gotta go, this has gotta go, that's
I
gotta go.
love
And my
that.
husband's like, what's for dinner? I said, must go, and he knows it could be anything hitting the table.
Who
I
knows?
So
like that.
who knows? So don't eliminate your must goes because your husband may not like must go meals. My husband's like, okay, I know it's gonna taste good. So eliminate the must go meals.
Mhm.
Now, my next question, when we begin by saving. Little areas that you can save. Turn the lights out. Don't have every light on in the house.
Mhm.
Turn the water off. That 10-minute shower, just by 3 minutes, you can save so many gallons of water.
Mhm.
So many gallons. Trust me, I learned that lesson. I, I am the biggest person that, when I tell you these are life experiences that I have gone through, that I have, that I'm sharing with you, life lessons. It makes a difference. Turn the lights off, turn the AC down or the heat down when you leave. You're going to be gone all day long. Who's there to enjoy the heat? Who's there to enjoy the air?
Mhm.
I'm not telling you to turn it down when it's freezing inside, but if you're used to it being at 74, turn it down to 70 degrees. It won't take that long to heat up once you get home. But if you're gone like I am, 12, 13 hours a day, and that's including your commute time, and then your time at work, and then your commute back, 12 to 13 hours with the air off, and you're only being charged for that other 12 hours that it's on, it makes a big difference than to have the whole 24/7 for the whole month. It cut my bill by 30%.
You
That's a
know,
savings.
there
That
are,
went towards my vacation fund.
that's good. That's good. I know I actually did a Facebook Live today on electricity audits because most electric companies you can log in and you can download a report of where you're using the most wattage and what time of day. And then also
What?
you can call them and they can do a free one for you as well. They can do a free audit. Some of them might charge a small. I haven't run into anyone or any company that charges. It's free. Take advantage of it. You'll find exactly where it is that you're spending. And I was sharing with my group that turn off the TV, like you were saying, turn off the TV, unplug the cell phone charger, the things that you just don't need. I mean, it's still surging, it's still capturing, and they call it vampire power because it's sucking the energy when you need it or you don't. I mean, so
I
it's so
love
uncanny that that's what I
that.
did my money saving tip Monday today. It was on electricity. So I completely agree with you 100%. So if you haven't taken
Don't get
advantage of that
sucked in.
audit, do it.
Do it.
Don't get sucked in by the vampire.
Yeah.
The electric
Vampire
company
power.
here in Columbus, when you get your bill every month, automatically puts that on there. And a couple months ago, they switched to a new meter system, and I now get text messages not just for my own house, but for all of our properties that for the company I work for, and they like tell us when we're using all the energy. And my husband and I discovered we had a secret vampire sucker from use just from that audit. We had
Yeah.
something we didn't realize we didn't even think about unplugging, and it's like, why is it so high? It's this early in the morning when nobody's home.
Hmm.
Right,
Yes, that
right.
is so good. I'm so glad you mentioned that because that I mean I don't know that it's on. I get what is it, the online billing, so I don't get a hard copy. And maybe that's something I should get. Let me download and see.
Yeah.
So
I like getting my hard copy because most bills they have a graph as to how much you use and it
mhm.
goes up and down, and I can tell when I have company at my house because that water bill, especially the water bill goes up, and I'm like, really, seriously? And the sprinkler system, because here in Texas everything is clay, and you to crumble, you have to water the grass. You have to water grass. So that sprinkler system, I was like, you know what? I water it 3 times a week, but you know what? It does not have to go 50 minutes,
Right.
Hmm.
especially in the cooler parts of like in the fall. Yes, in the summertime, it's full blast. I get it. But what you spend in the summer, save in the fall.
Yep.
Turn instead of turn the AC on. Oh, it's kind of warm. Turn the fan on.
Mhm.
It's quicker to cool down the room that you're in with a fan than it is to turn on the whole AC system and cool the whole house, and you're only in one room. So you're spending more money than you have to.
Those graphs are also really helpful um, to keep track of over time and compare from year to year. So this summer we discovered our air conditioner stopped working properly, and because of those graphs, the significance, like the bill goes up every summer. Yeah, it gets hot and the air conditioner is working more. There's more electricity being used. But being able to compare it to last summer when it was way hotter here in Ohio, we realized there was an issue with our air conditioner. Like it was still pumping cold air, it was still cycling, it was just drawing too much electricity, and the entire thing had to be replaced.
Wow.
Yeah,
Those
that's
graphs
good.
make sense. They make
Mhm.
sense. I'm telling you, you all need to find it. Now, I know we're talking about things to save us money and but how important is having a budget? A lot of people don't stray away from, well, I know where I'm spending my money. I don't, yeah. How important is it to have a budget? And more importantly, how important is it to stick to the budget?
I'll say I think having a budget is one of the most important adult things you can do. Um, because I mean, you really need to make your money work for you. You work really hard for it. If you're not making it like using it to reach your goals, you can't do that without a budget. If you don't know where your money is going, I will say it's definitely hard to stick to a budget when you first start, and it's okay to not always be right on track. Um, that's the biggest thing people do that I have noticed is like they start a budget and then, oh, I spent $10 too much here this week, and they just give up the whole budget. You have to be flexible with it, and but keep your goals in mind. And I think it's really important. Like my husband and I have multiple savings, all have a different purpose. So we have our rainy day fund, our emergency fund. We have a specific savings account just focused on the cars because God knows those are an awful emergency expense. Every time they break,
Ooh,
you're
yes.
spending a grand at least. And then we have our whatever our specific goal in our marriage, we decide on it together. We have a fund for that. So we used it for vacation one year. We're saving for a new mattress, like things like that. Something that will motivate you to keep saving.
I agree with Leanne. Definitely having something in place, and if you making that goal realistic, because you don't want to set it be so stringent that you just give up. It's like, okay, this isn't working, and it's going to be fluid for the first few times because you're not used to it. It's foreign to you. When I code with my clients, I typically tell them it's money management because if they hear the word budget, I
Mm-hmm.
work 60 hours a week. What do you mean I can't spend this? I deserve this. So, you got to put a little spin on it. But really, you think, and I really can say I did that. I'm like, okay, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. I deserve this. But then I realized that it's number one, it's not just me anymore. And secondarily, it's not allowing me to reach my goal. I don't need that purse. I don't need, it's nice to have if I have a plethora of discretionary cash, which My husband always says there's no such thing as extra money, so I just say discretionary.
We call it our fun money. It's
Yeah,
our
fun. There you go.
We
There you
have
go.
a whole category
Yes.
budget
Yes.
that is our weekly fun money, and that lets us do the things that we deserve to do or we think are fun every week.
Yes. And your bank typically has a money management slash budget built in system built into their online banking, so you can categorize where you're spending. And once you do it the first couple of times, it will automatically start categorizing it itself, so you can actually run a report to see where your money is going. But you just be consistent. Make sure you're doing it every week. If you wait and do it at the end of the month, you're not going to do it. Start if you can do it every day or every week, just so that you can keep tabs on what it is you're spending. And then also making sure, like Leanne was saying, the car, if you know you need your registration every single year, make sure you set aside money for that. If you know that the oil changes are going to need to be done 4 times a year, or depending upon what type of car you have, make sure you have that. And use your coupons. They always have coupons. Search for coupons everywhere and
Yeah.
use them because they will definitely come in handy. And then if I could share one other thing, is when you're shopping, look at the tag. If it says dry clean only, do you really need it? Because I know a lot of clothes, I mean, they're beautiful, but when you see that dry clean only tag, that's just more money going down the drain. So look for something that is wash cold, gentle cycle with light colors, you know.
Please come
Yeah,
tell that to my husband,
yes.
because everything, when I say everything, I mean everything has to be dry clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking, I'm like, how much are you spending on dry cleaning? Well, I have to have my business suits and I understand that. But that's a shirt that can
Yes,
go in the washer.
yes,
And if you don't want it to wrinkle, hang it up to dry.
yes.
If you hang it up to dry, it lasts longer, it holds its shape. And hello, dry cleaning? Really? A t shirt?
Yeah, I
Really?
think that's a male thing because my husband goes to the dry cleaners, and you can actually they'll run a report if you go there and they have your account. Mine runs a report at the end of the year. I have them run a report, and I can see exactly how much I've spent on dry cleaning. So ask them to do that. You have to give them your phone number or your name or something where they're entering it in. They'll be able to
Well,
pull it up.
well, I'll have to go behind him and say, okay, you know that man that just left here? I need a report on what he's spending. Yes. But back to your fund money, just because you allow yourself fund money every week does not mean you have to spend it all.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Save it up. I like getting my nails done at least once every 3 weeks. I save my fund money so I can get my fancy schmancy nails, get the extra little swirly curls and little doodads on top of them. I save my fund money so that comes when I have an opportunity for an extra job that comes up. Okay, can you fill it in for me? I'm like, yes. Now I can go and do this because that was extra money. Extra money, yes. That was discretionary
Yes.
funds. That was money that was not in the budget, that won't take away from my budget and will let me allow me to do something extra that I wanted to do. I can do it sooner than rather than later. Now I have to work for it, but I am willing to work for what I want.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. As far as budget, if you don't like the word budget, just like some people don't like the word contract, you like work agreement, think of it money management. I'm managing my money. Now, Leanne, when you say your fund money, is that because I have a policy of pay yourself first. When I get my paycheck, I work hard for this money. I'm gonna pay me first before I pay all the bills. I'm gonna pay. There's a certain amount that I pay me first, and then my tithe, and then whatever the
Mhm.
rest of. Now, is your fund money considered your pay me first, or is that something totally different?
Um, so we actually, my family, we have two separate sets of fun money. Actually,
Okay.
technically three, but um, so our all of our savings and our bills and everything is done automatically. One of the great things about living in the time we do now, I set up my paycheck comes in every Thursday at midnight, and by the time I wake up Friday morning, both of all of my savings money has gone, all of my specific grocery money has gone to its account. Everything's gone where it's belonged, and what's in my like our personal account is what we call it, is our money for gas and our money to go out or buy whatever thing we want to buy that week. And then I have, like, if I babysit on the side and not my full-time job, that goes into a completely separate account, and that is my personal fun money to do whatever I want with, which is typically buying my husband nice things or buying something for my friends or going out with a friend.
Your
So,
discretionary funds.
but my own personal discretionary fund. We have one for our marriage. My husband Ubers on the side. Whenever he wants stuff, he spends his stuff on hockey games. He goes to hockey games with his sister. We go to crew games here, like soccer games here, and that's what he spends his extra money on. So we each have extra money for each of us, and then we have extra money for things to do together. And it all, for us, it all happens at the same time. So we pay it all together. Every single week it automatically happens. I don't have to think about it. That was the hard part for me, was like, oh, I have to remember to move this money here or take this money out. I don't do it anymore. It automatically happens before I'm even awake, and it is marvelous, and it has made saving so much easier. I don't have to think about it anymore.
I like the automatic payments because I know I've got to have this money in my account. It takes discipline, first of all. It takes discipline because you're like, well, it's not going to hit my account until a certain such and such a time, and it'll be that one day that it fall that payment day falls on a Saturday and they come collected on a Friday, and you think you got that extra day. Don't do it.
And then your whole account is all
Your
messed.
whole account, and then they're charging you, and even if you have overdraft protection, they still charge you bank fees. I've learned to get around those. I had my card is if in my bank, if you swipe your card at least 10 times, you avoid the bank fees. So I make sure that I have enough money in my accounts, and when I go shopping and do separate things, I separate my account. So it's only $5. But think about it. If you have 4 or 5 accounts, that's $60 a year. 6 times 4, that's $240. That's half a car note. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And vacation money or gas in the car or my nails.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
take
would
the
say
time.
on the,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I
No, no,
didn't know
no,
you
no.
were
Go
still
ahead. I'm
talking.
done. I'm done.
You were talking about paying yourself first. And for those of you who, if everybody, if you have a 9 to 5 job, and you're doing your nanny business or whatever other business that you have, if your employer offers a 401k, make sure that's how you pay yourself first, especially if they're matching. Don't throw the money away. If they're matching 2%, 3%, you at least at a minimum match that. And so you won't be throwing that money away. If I see a quarter on the ground, I'm picking it up. I'm not just going to pass it by. So imagine, hundreds of dollars that your employer is helping you with contributing to your 401k for retirement. So, and also for those of you who are veterans or your spouse is a veteran, Chase offers free checking accounts for all veterans and their spouses. Okay, so I just want to. A lot of people don't know about that, and that's business and personal. So you don't have to worry about the fees. You don't have to worry about how many, how many times you swipe. I mean, it's free. And now Bank of America is trying to get on board, I'm told. Someone had mentioned that to me, but I do know that Chase offers that for veterans. So go to your bank, ask them if you do have that status or your spouse, take advantage of the perks that are available to you.
And if you don't work for a company that offers a 401k, start an IRA. It's very simple. Put in $10 a week, $20 a month. Start small. It builds over time, and the younger you start, the more you have when you retire. It's easy to do. You can set it up same as I do with the savings to automatically withdraw from your account however often you want. You can set it every week, once a month. You can set it and forget it.
I need to change banks. My husband actually he's a veteran and he has Chase Bank, but I don't even know. I don't know if he knows that fact, but I'm going to tell him, and
It's
I'm
the
going to look
premier
into change.
account. You get lockbox, free checks, the list goes on. So yes, and a lot of people
Oh,
just don't know about it, but I'm sharing it.
okay.
Ask for
So
veteran discounts everywhere I go. Restaurants, hotels, everywhere.
my
Yes.
husband is all about. Do you have senior citizen discount? Or he'll say, "I need a senior coffee."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "You using that 55 plus?" He's like, "You'll get here one day. You'll get here." I was like, "Yes, yes." But use your discounts. Use you all have seen me live on Facebook when I go to my favorite store, the semi-annual sale at Bath and Body Works. I shop like a mad woman. I go to 4 or 5 different because every region is different. Every store carries something different, and they bring back old scents from before. Every store does not have the same thing. I will go down to Dallas. I will go into Grapevine. I will come down to Austin. If I'm traveling to Arkansas, the semi-annual sale goes on for about a month. I go to all these stores, and I mean, you're talking about 12, $13 lotions that you get for $3. I have been in the store and my bill came to 800 and something dollars. I paid $200. And I get it for Christmas gifts. I get it for just because gifts. I make sure I stock up on everything. And it happens twice a year. Now, if I run out of something, my favorite, then I'll go get it. But more than likely, I'm not going to run out because I shop and I have, my husband will tell you, I have a huge tub full of Bath and Body Works because that's my favorite store. And I take advantage. And then they send you the coupons in the email that says if you spend $40, you get $10 off. Hello. And then everybody knows that I love Bath and Body Works, so they give me, guess what they give me for Christmas? Bath and Body Works gift cards. So I end up spending nothing. I'm just saying, find a way to save. And that way I can go out to eat. The money that I would have spent in Bath and Body Works, I can go give him a nice lunch and say, I will have saved. Just saying. So now my next question, let me hurry up. Rainy day funds. We know that our jobs can disappear like that. I have a rainy day fund. My husband and I have a fund that we make sure there's enough money in that fund for at least 3 to 4 months of house notes, utilities, phone bills, groceries. It's all that fund. We don't touch it because um, a year and a half ago, my husband got laid off from his job and he was out of work for over a year. And if it had not been for those funds, I was working. He got unemployment, but unemployment runs out after a certain period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have money and funds, we could have been out of our house, out on the street, doing whatever. But that rainy day fund that was specifically for that purpose, that's what it was there for. And we ended up using it. We didn't use it all, but we ended up using some of it. So rainy day funds are important. That's just my personal story. Now,
No, that's very important. Very important. You know, I always tell people that I'm speaking with to at least have, you know, 6 months of living expenses. And if you can do that, go to a year because nothing is promised. There's no such thing as job security. You know, parents fall ill. You need to take care of your parents. You might get ill. One of you has to take off to take care of one. I mean, life happens and you have to prepare for that because the second you think nothing will happen, it'll happen. Just, you know, my mother-in-law used to always say, just live long enough. Just live long enough.
I think everybody's
And
mama said that.
just live long enough.
When you're
Um,
young, you think you know, it's so hard to think about, oh, when I
mhm.
get seriously sick or when my parents get sick or all of these catastrophic things that could potentially happen, you don't prepare for those. You don't think about them because you're young and invincible and you're healthy. And then they happen. And if you're not prepared, they can be devastating to your finances and take years to recover from.
Yes. I have my husband and I know because I have a history of cancer in my family and heart disease in my family. I have invested in insurance that if something goes wrong with my heart, or if I end up having cancer or whatever, the day of diagnosis, my insurance pays me directly. It comes to my account. So if I have to take off, go to the doctor, whatever, if I'm hospitalized, it's one amount. If I go to the emergency room, it's another amount. But they pay me directly so that I am not strapped for, oh my gosh, how am I gonna pay the bills? How am I gonna do this? And if I'm paying into after a certain amount of time of paying into that, if I have not used that money, it comes back to me. That's what I like the best about it. But I have invested because I know this is a history in my family. And it if my mom had not had cancer insurance and my dad had not had his teacher retirement insurance, it would have been catastrophic. Both of them down at the same time, or because my mom was down, and then after she had breast cancer, then it came back in her lungs. She had cancer insurance and it paid her so that she still had an income coming in so that it didn't even lapse. The insurance paid for her doctor bills and all that other stuff, but the other insurance paid her directly so that she could pay the water bill or the light bill or the card note or the insurance. All of that is important. Now, I know some of you may not think that's important, but at my age, that's important. With my family history, that's something that's important to me. So I will invest in that so that my family won't suffer if I'm suffering. I got my husband on it too. So I won't suffer if he's suffering.
I think another
So,
smart thing you can do with your money when it comes to medical expenses, if you have a high deductible insurance plan, is to invest in an HSA. Not only does that money going into your HSA get saved for the future if you don't use it, but it's a tax deduction. It's making
mhm.
your money work for you even more, and it is essentially a medical savings account. So if you contribute to it regularly and you have something catastrophic happen, you have
Oh,
money set aside to cover for a medical expense.
okay, can you tell us what HSA stands for? Because a lot of us are not I know in Nanny world we use MB and then DB and all that.
It's yeah,
This,
it's a healthcare savings account, which
okay,
there's another option too. It's called a FSA, which is a flex spending account
yes.
that you can qualify for if you do not have a high deductible insurance plan. However, in a FSA, you are required to spend it in a certain, like in a year span, whereas the
Hmm.
HSA carries on forever and ever
Yeah,
until
we had a flexible when I had surgery on my eye 4 years ago. That's what paid for my surgery. It helped to pay for the doctors. The insurance paid a certain amount, and my balance was like $700. And I said, "Here you go. Here's the card. This is what we paid into it for." So money does not come. It comes out of our pocket, but we don't see it.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to come out of my pocket twice. Is what I'm saying.
And it's
It
also at the end a tax write off. It helps when it comes
right.
to taxes, which is always something good. We had my husband and I are using our HSA to pay for our fertility treatments, and it has that those things are expensive. We're
Yes.
not even to the expensive part yet, and it's still
It's expensive before you get to the expensive part.
oh yeah, we're down here. It can go all the way up here,
Oh
and
wow.
it's still that HSA has that money is there waiting for us to use it for our healthcare expenses.
Okay, we have a question. Christy wants to know what is a RIA and how do I get on it like a nanny?
Did you say
RIA?
I think she's saying
IRA?
IRA.
Okay,
Maybe.
okay, maybe this is IRA.
Mhm.
An IRA?
Because yeah.
I can share my personal experience with this. Um, my husband and I walked into Chase Bank and said we'd like to set up an IRA. They set up the account for me, and I set up direct deposits. It's very simple. There's a couple different options you can do. Um, we have a Roth IRA, which has different qualifications for when you can pull out the money in case of an emergency,
Mm-hmm.
and how they invest the money for you. You can choose to do it, or you can let the bank control it in the future. Um, but yeah, go in and talk to your banker. They can give you all of the information that you need and give you, like, Chase has a full packet of comparisons between all of their IRAs. That gave me everything I needed to decide.
I need to change banks. Chase seemed to be the one to go. I need to change banks.
My husband and I, we use Chase and Huntington and love both of them. Huntington's really great for their budget analysis. I get alerts. I'll log into my Huntington and it'll say, you're on track to be $53 short this month of your usual expenses because your spending has gone up in this category. Like, they're very specific.
Okay. So they
You
give
could
you that little graph. So you're like, okay, I'm spending too much. Okay, let me pinch my pennies back. Okay. Um, Emily says, as a nanny that has affordable health care insurance, how do I get HSA or FSA? Would I have to not be single?
No. So my husband has a high deductible insurance plan through his work. That's all. The only qualification, you just have to have a high deductible insurance plan. If you have one through the marketplace, you very likely do. Um, we got ours through Fifth Third Bank. They offer us an HSA that you can sign up for without having to go through a company.
Okay. Any comments, Casino?
Nope, that is not my area, so I leave it to the
Okay.
expert.
Okay. Christine said I could do that. Thanks, because I am a Chase girl. Hey, I'm at the wrong bank. That is
Tonight you
where
need to
I
switch.
bank. Thank you, ladies. I need to change banks, apparently. I'm not going to tell y'all who I'm with because I'm not going to throw nobody under the bus.
I've also found Chase to be the easiest to manage when it comes to the fees you were talking about earlier. Their
Hmm.
qualifications to get around the fees seem to be easier than any other bank I've been with.
Okay, so I think tomorrow when I
Someone's
get
taking a
off
trip to
work,
Chase tomorrow.
I need to go. Okay. Yes, yes. Hold on. We have uh Emily Carter says, I have a high deductible. Great. I'll check with my bank. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let me see if we have any other questions. I don't think Sheila says, any suggestions for investments? Now that I think you would probably have to check out with an investment banker or investment advisor. Uh, I can't give you information because you know your budget better than I do. And I would suggest that you check with someone who is well versed in that instead of me saying, oh, well, go invest in this, go invest in that. I got my money over here, I got my money over there. And then it not work for you. And then I look bad and I got mud all over my face and you mad at me. So I'm going to send you to the experts who know about that and can tell you about all of that because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want you to be mad at me and then it not work for you. That's all I'm going to say about that. Any other advice, ladies?
That
Vet
was a
your
great response. That was an excellent response because advisors have a fiduciary responsibility and they have to make sure that things are suitable specifically for you. And just giving ad hoc information that probably will not work for you is not in line with what they have with their requirements of what they have mandated to do. So that was an excellent response.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Now, our last topic, which is probably going to touch some nerves, and
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to apologize because it takes a while. When we're going to talk about credit cards, and the credit score.
Mhm.
Now, after my divorce back in 2009, I was cash and carry. Everything cash and carry, cash and carry, cash and carry. My car broke down. Guess what? You have no credit. You can't buy a car because you have no credit. I'm like, how do you mean I don't have credit? Because I pay cash for everything. Well, you're not building a credit score because you're paying everything in cash. We can't see how you pay your bills other than your utility bills. And I'm like, well, can I do this? Can I do that? I had to pay a high down payment and I got a high interest rate. I just bought a car last year. You know what my interest rate was? 4%. Because I shopped around and I built my credit score and I made sure that they saw I paid my bills on time. I got credit. Now, having a credit card, use it responsibly. Don't max it out because the more you max it out, they're like, oh, well, you're living beyond your means. No, you can't afford this. I'm not giving you any more credit because you got this maxed out and it stays maxed out for 12 months in a row. So, but that's just my opinion, ladies.
My dad always taught me that having a credit card is important for the exact same reason you shared, to build your credit and to show that you are financially responsible. And when I spend that money on the credit card, to set whatever I would have spent it on in cash somewhere else and pay it off. So we use it and buy the gas that I'm going to buy anyways to go to work and have that money sitting there when the credit card bill comes.
I completely agree. Cash is king, but credit gives you power, right? So what I would do when I would go to J.C. Penney's, I never, that long story. My mother used to shop at J.C. Penney's. I'm like, I'm not shopping there. I'm not shopping at J.C. I'm not shopping at the same place my mother shopped. I love J.C. Penney's. I tell her that all the time. We just get a good laugh. But anyway, so if I pay with a card, did you know that in this same transaction, you can make the payment? You could actually make the payment. That was something I would do. So if you're trying to accumulate points, like if you want to pay majority of your bills on your credit card, bills that you were going to pay for cash anyway, capture the points. That's a way for you to earn some discretionary money, not extra money, but turn around and pay it off. A rule of thumb, you want to, in order to move the dial on your credit score, or increase your credit score, at least have about 1 to 7% left on your credit card, because it does show that they want to know that you are able to make on time monthly payments. So don't max it out. You don't want to create a high utilization, but you want to keep a little small balance on there every now and then, because you want to make sure that they understand that, hey, you've got a balance and you are making on time payments every single month. So let's go ahead and reward you with maybe something a little different that you might want in the near future. But yes, credit is definitely essential in these times, because you'll find that you'll go into a store and they're telling you, well, we don't accept cash. So even if you have a debit card, I mean, you can use that. But I mean, a lot of people who are carrying cash, it's like, we don't accept it, because it's easier for them to manage their cash or manage their cash flow without using cash and having to go to the bank and having to deposit and all that other stuff. But anyway, I derailed a lot. I apologize, but yes, credit is definitely important.
I think it's important to keep an eye on the fine print of your credits. What are they charging you in interest if you are keeping a balance? And maximize the rewards that the credit cards give you. I have a friend who just paid for half of her vacation using her credit card points, buying things for her house that she needed to buy anyways, that she was going to spend cash on, making your money work for you.
Yes, I love my credit card, and I'll tell you, I I had I started out with a secure credit card because I had no credit. So I started out with a secure credit card. And for those of you who don't have credit and you're trying to build your credit, you can go and get a secured credit card. Now, yes, you're using your money, but they take that money, and if you pay it on time, and let me interject this, Just because they say your minimum payment due is $25, you'll be 50 years paying off that $25. I'm just saying, pay more than the minimum. Let me repeat that. Pay more than the minimum, or you will be paying for years on your own money. Now, back to what I was saying. I started with a little $600 card, and I paid it and I paid it and I paid it and I paid it. And it was like 2 or 3 years. I would go get gas. That's what I used it for. I would go get gas every week. I would get gas. And then at the end of when I got my paycheck at the end of the week, I paid it off. And I used those points because the credit card that I have, the more you spend, you get money back. And you can apply it towards the payments on your account. You can apply it towards the balance on your account, not towards the payment, towards the balance on your account. They won't accept what you earn back as a payment, but you can say, I have a $5,000 credit balance on my account, and I've spent all this money and I've gained like $35 in cash reward points. I can apply that cash reward points to my balance, and it takes it down $35. So that's less money I owe. That's like, okay, well, I just earned back the interest that I would have spent on this $500. But I had that $600 card, and then I get this offer in the mail. Now we all get offers in the mail. Please don't accept every offer that you get in the mail for credit cards. Because once you get one, everybody finds out. Oh, we got one. That's hooker. Please don't get hooked on all those credit cards, because you'll apply and apply and apply, and then sure. And then you have all these credit cards, and you got all of them maxed out, and then you're in debt, which is what we don't want. So I took that credit card and I paid it and I paid it and I paid it over 2 year time. And then the same company said, well, we're going to give you an unsecured credit card of $1,000. I was like, yes! I was so happy. So I took that, and they said, if you pay it on time, in 6 months, we'll increase it by 500. We'll increase your limit by $500. So I paid and I paid and I paid. And it was like between the 5th and the 6th month, and it went up $3,000 instead of just the $500. And I was like, I went to my husband. I said, "Do you wait a minute? Are my eyes deceiving me? Does this say what I think it says? Are you serious?" When I saw that, and I called them out, I thought they made a mistake. They said, "Well, you have two credit cards with us, and you have paid over years, you have paid over time, so we felt that you deserve this much credit. Now, just because you get that much credit does not mean go out and spend all of it. They found that you are responsible, and you pay your bills on time, and you pay your credit card. I paid above. I always eat. I don't care if it was just $5. Some months I had it, some months I didn't. I paid $5. Some months I paid $100 over with that minimum payment. But I made sure that I paid over the minimum payment so that they can see I'm not just stringing it along. I'm actually trying to pay it off. And several times I hit zero, and I wouldn't spend for like a month or so, and then something will come up, and I'm like, oh, I'm in a bind. I don't want to take this out of cash. I don't get paid until Friday. I'm not touching my savings account. I'm not touching that account. So I use my credit card because I know I can pay this off on Friday. So I put it on my credit card, paid it off when I got paid. If you spend your money responsibly, your credit score goes up. And another thing, when you accept all of those offers that you get in the mail, it's a hit on your credit, a hard hit. And when you have too many inquiries on your credit, it sends your credit score plummeting. You get too many on there, they're like, oh, well, I had a 700 score, and now it's down to 500. What happened? Because you just applied for 6 different cards, which means that if your credit went down, and it looks like I'm desperate. When you apply for all those cards, it looks like you're desperate, that you really, really need all this money. So please don't apply for all those cards. I'm just saying, please don't. Take it from me. Please don't. Ladies,
Yeah,
do
I
y'all have
agree.
anything?
I agree. Another way that you can accelerate in increasing your credit score is if you or a spouse or a family member or a friend has excellent credit, they paid on a credit card for a number of years and they've not been late, you could become an authorized user on their account. It's called piggybacking. It is a legal thing that you are able to do. Now you don't have access to their account. You can't call and get any information, nor will you have access to the card. You're just an authorized user. So if your spouse, let's say, he has a credit card and you don't, he's on time payments, he's had this card for 5 years, you can actually leverage his credit history and build your credit history that way. Um, so that's something that's really quick as opposed to waiting years and years if there's someone that you know. Now, on the flip side of that, if they miss a payment, that's going to impact you too.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you are your spouse or your parents, someone that they are reliable, they're dependable, and they are in a position to make their payments on time every time. So um, that would be my feedback on for
Leanne.
Okay, nothing to add. That was beautiful, ladies.
Okay. All
that.
right. So we have some comments. Sarah says, thanks for the information, ladies. My husband and I are doing well at budgeting and saving, but I need to start an IRA and we bank with Chase too. I gotta change banks.
Yeah.
Sarah also said we use YNAB. I'm not sure what that
Mm.
is.
You
Uh,
need a budget. It's a budgeting app. There's thousands of them out there. I,
okay.
however, personally didn't like a single one of them and built my own using Google Sheets, and it is free.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can also use
Ooh,
Mint. I love Mint, and if you bank at so many financial institutions, it'll draw it in. Now, some people are a little leery. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to put all my information out there." If somebody wants your information, they're going to get it anyway.
yes.
But I will say that it can pull everything in and see where you're spending. But like Leanne said, the best way is if you want it a certain way. It's just like a planner, a goal planner. You can go out there and search for ever and not find the right one. So you just make one that is beneficial for you and you move forward and you use it. But I personally love Mint. I've been using it for many years and probably might be a little archaic, but I've just had it for a while and it works
Okay.
everywhere.
Sarah says, let me see, let me finish her statement. She said, we use YNAB to budget and use our credit cards for purchases and pay it off every month. We get money back as reward from our Costco and Amazon Visa cards.
Mm-hmm.
Christine says, I do the same thing at Macy's. I buy and pay the same time because I want the discount. Cool. Also, Lucretia said also if you have an airline credit card, you can have benefits like free luggage, etc. Now, the airline, I do like the airlines, get my free stuff. Uh, and Alexis says, yeah, I jacked my credit up the day after I graduated high school, pretty much. And I was desperate. Okay.
But
See,
you can recover from that.
you can recover. You
And
can
it just takes
recover.
time and a whole lot of discipline.
Yes, it does. Because when I went to get my car broke down, my credit score was like at 545. And they looked at me like, have you lost your mind? You're not getting enough this lot. So, and that was because I was cash and carry, cash and carry, cash and carry for years. And cash and carry is good in some instances, but you're going to need credit at some point. You cannot rent a car without a, not a Visa, but without a credit card, an actual credit card that is not attached to your bank account. So, um, Emily says, are y'all familiar with the new credit score rating that is coming out soon? I've heard talks about it in the news. No, I'm not familiar with the new credit score rating.
I'm
FICO 10 did come out this year. And so if you want to know more about it, I would go to myfico.com. A lot of lenders aren't using it yet. They had a FICO 9. Most lenders are still using FICO 8, which is, the 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. But they did come out with that. It has gone into effect. So just go to myfico.com. It would be, open up probably a can of worms, but you can get the gist of it if you go there, and you'll learn about the new FICO score.
Okay. Now I know the bank that I have now does give me a monthly FICO score, and it'll tell me, okay, it went up and this is why. It went down and this is why. But also, if you're trying to look for your credit and trying to increase your credit, there are plenty of credit card like Credit Karma and what else? Credit Wise, and there's a couple more where you can go in and find out what your credit score. And I would suggest that you write into Experian and TransUnion and what's the other one? Uh,
Equifax.
Equifax. Yes, I knew it started with an E. Get your credit score. You are entitled to one free one a year. Write in and get it.
You can
See
actually
what's
do it
on your
online
credit
too.
report. See what it. I'm sorry. What did you say?
You can do it online if you go to annualcreditreport.com. You can pull all of
Okay.
them and download them and look at them. So this way you wouldn't have to wait for them to be mailed in.
What she said.
Mm-hmm.
Get it done, because you need to see if there are things on your report, discrepancies. I went to high school with Angela R. Johnson. I'm Angela R. Johnson. She's 1 year older than me. We're born in the same month, 2 different days. But when they see Angela R. Johnson, I used to get called to the office all the time because she was in trouble. And all they hear is Angela R. Johnson, and here I come. No, you the wrong one. And I'm like, thank God I'm the wrong one, because I don't want to be in trouble, because both my parents were teachers and I knew I was going to get it when I got home. If I got in trouble and they teachers too, oh no, can't do that. Can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have the same name. My son is a junior, same name. If they drop the junior and the senior off of there, they're looking at the name. Now they may pull up the wrong social security number because it's in the wrong name. Now, if I hate to say this, but some people, you have the same name as your father or your mother or whatever, and they use your social security card, your social security number to get credit off of, and then when you get grown, you have no credit because they have ruined it for you. Check your credit. Check your credit. Check your credit. See, there could be things on there that are not yours, and it's keeping your credit score down and keeping you from getting things because it's not yours. Dispute it. You have a right to dispute it. Call the company and dispute it. And when they ask you, well, what is this? It's in dispute. And they will put it on your credit report. It's in dispute. My husband has done it because several people, I've had identity theft, and I had to dispute a whole lot of stuff because it's not mine. So check your credit. Now, ladies, it is now 8 o'clock. Do we
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock? Yeah, I forgot. Leanne is on the East Coast. So, do you have any closing statements? Any tips or anything that before we leave?
I just thank you very much for having us on, having me on. I hope that something that we said was able to enlighten someone or pique their interest, so that where they're wanting to go and research more information, get their budgets on track. I'm pretty sure that through Angela, anyone can reach either one of us. If you have some questions, we'll be more than happy to help you out with anything that we're knowledgeable of that. But Angela, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. I really had a good time. I hope to do it again soon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I also want to say thank you. This has been wonderful. I love being able to share something I'm passionate about with my community of nannies. And I really hope that someone can learn something from what we've discussed tonight. And again, yeah, I agree. If anybody has any questions, if we can help out in any way, I'm open to helping.
Okay.
Thank you so much for everything you do for our community and all the lessons you share and all the knowledge you give to us. It's wonderful. I love it.
Well, it's because of people like you all, you two, that I can do this, because I don't know all this stuff by myself. I learn from you all. I didn't know about half some of the things that you all talked about. I was like, okay, let me write this down. And I know now I need to change banks. So again, but thank you all for joining me. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your advice, your information that that I can't. Thank you for the information that you have shared with the community. Um, if you can, once we get done, can you put your information, contact information? I know, Christina, you have your business. If you can put your information in the comments so that people who want to talk to you about, business plans or whatever the case may be, because she's not only, just giving financial advice right here. She handles small businesses and, like, because I may need her some, help because my small business. But put your information in the comments so that we can contact you and hopefully get you some more business. Um, Along with you too, Miss Leanne. I know that's one of your passions if you want to share. Um, but I want to thank both of you all for sharing with us. And before we go, Nanny community, please share this with your groups. Please share it with your friends. Um, Share it on your social media, because somebody needs this information, even if it's just a place to start. You can't plan for the future if you don't start today. Today is the first day of your future. Now, next week, we are going to have Glenda Probst and Emily Kate Rowland, and we're going to have our second edition in a series of What to Do When. And we're going to be talking about those hard interview questions that you need to ask at the interview. The ones that you don't think about that, just kind of come up, and after you've been on the job, you need to start having those in the interview process. So that's what we're going to do next week. And we will see you all next week. Please stop by Ask the Nanny page and like us and leave us a review. If this information is helpful to you or to any of your friends, please like us. And also, this video will appear in the archives on the YouTube page, A Third Parent Academy. So just look, when you go to YouTube, just look up the Third Parent Academy and it will pop up. Give me until tomorrow to get it up, but it will be there. And thank you, ladies, again. And we will see you all next week. You all have a great week.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.